Okay, we're gonna start the Town of Sangerville Board of Selectmen meeting, Wednesday, July 17th, 2019, and I have 5:05. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, approval of the minutes, June 19, 2019, and July 10, 2019.
Make a motion to approve A and B.
Second.
All in favor? It's unanimous. Item 3, review of treasurer's warrants, payroll 56 and accounts payable 57.
Make a motion to approve A and B as read.
Second.
All in favor? All 3. Open session. Believe we have anything there. Selectmen's concerns. Moving on to item 6, road commissioner. And he's with us.
He is.
What's the state of our union?
It's actually looking pretty good.
Good.
I'm very happy with that side that we've did so far. There was only 2 big hunks of ledge that are still in the road. But other than that, it went pretty good. The stumps are all out. That whole side's pretty well done except for that little bit of just down over where the stumps are. And what are we gonna do on the other side? I have gone and tested that now, and we could put a ditch right on the other side too. Right to the drain.
Wow.
We had a person in here complaining about washing on Pleasant Ave because of the water coming down the feeders.
This would help that, I would
This
think.
would help, I would.
Anything you direct towards that drain is less apt to end up on Pleasant Street.
Our goal is to make our road project the best project we can, so it's your
Right.
call of what we need to, we're gonna be able to get some of that water away on that side.
Right. Yeah, and I think even if we only ditched right from that, from the
Drain.
drain, right up to like Kevin's, because the rest of that's all, the land lays.
It's already
Like
So it
anyway.
falls away.
Yeah, and that Rick
Pellerin.
Pellerin had some concern that if we took the berm off, it was gonna flood his cellar again, because he's had troubles there before, but if we ditched up to there, that would take care of that too, so,
Should help him, actually.
yeah. The only thing in the way is them 3 big stumps, which I don't know if I get them or not. I'm not gonna make no promises, them are bigger than the other one.
They
Really?
Are they?
Oh, there's no question.
They're hardwood, those are hardwoods too.
They are?
There's a maple
Yeah,
and
one of those is
a apple
maple,
tree.
yeah.
The apple tree was small, but
Yeah.
I thought they were all
The great big one, that's right out close to the road, I think that's still.
I think that's
Yeah.
awful, yeah, but I think-
Whatever it is, but yeah, that's huge. So
Oh.
I don't know if I can get it out.
Whoa.
Well, the first one I dug out, well, we had to take the tailgate off the truck, but I just had all I could do to get it in the truck. The first one, and these ones up there are even bigger than that one, so. But I can try to dig them out, if that's what we wanna try first.
Put him on flatbed.
Well, even if you gotta snap them in half and take half of it to do your ditch, you can't get it all out.
If it works that way, yeah.
That's what I mean, I don't know.
I haven't
You're
had,
gonna know when you
I
get
haven't had good
into it.
luck breaking them so far.
No,
No, they're tough. I mean tough.
Yeah, those trees were alive, so those stumps
Oh, yeah.
are alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
Nothing
roots, I took
decaying.
roots out of there you could get firewood out of.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
so how much of that was direct and going under the road?
Actually, not much.
Good.
There was 2 roots that had one root apiece that go onto the road. Other than that, they all went the other way. I don't know if just the road and traffic kept them from growing that way or what.
Well, I wonder too, like you figure in the winter time, though, with the frost would be deep in the road.
That's
that
true,
might
that's a
steer
good
them.
point.
Right?
No idea.
Yeah.
Cause that's what I was worried about was, how many big roots that you had that was
I
actually
know.
going under the road
I
that
was weird
we
too.
don't want that under there.
But no, there was only 2 roots. Decent roots that we'd worried about that went under the road, so.
After this ditching, does it look to you like we might need cross culverts where we didn't before?
We're gonna need some driveway culverts.
Okay.
As far as cross culverts, there's nowhere that we're gonna get any in. The guy down over the hill, I don't know who he is, the one right on the corner right before where
Delaire?
that guy dug the pond, on the left.
Oh, yeah, the Delaires, yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
he's claiming that water runs up into his house somehow. I don't know how it happens, but he says that it does. He says every year it runs up into his house, and like I say, from where the water sits, it's up to his house, so I don't know how that happens, but that's what he's complaining about. And he'd like to see a cross culvert right there, but you can't.
No, so there isn't a
there
cross,
is
I
one.
thought there was a cross
There's
culvert.
one just below his.
Ah,
Yeah.
right
He's
where
saying he
Paul
wants
dug
Where
the
the
pond.
pond is,
Yeah,
So he's saying he wants one above him?
Yeah, he wants one, well, pretty much right on his lawn. Because his lawn, there's a little shallow spot in his lawn where water sits.
yes.
I don't see how it ever could run up into his house,
It-
but that's what he's telling me.
Right.
But in terms of protecting our road,
No,
there's not a need for a culvert there.
no. Nope.
That's really the criteria we use.
It
pretty much,
is,
isn't it? Yeah.
because in my own opinion, we know how many bumps and heaves we get from cross culverts.
That's
so
right.
I'm not a fan of putting them
That's a
anywhere
good
where.
Well,
we
you
don't
never want
them.
more than you need, but you
That's it.
want as many as you need.
That's right, yeah.
And you know, sometimes we put culverts in and the landowners don't like it,
Mhm.
and I get that, but we still have to do it, so.
Right, yeah, sometimes you put water where people don't want it.
Correct.
So those driveways on the, well, was that the south side? The one, you know, where you've done all the ditching, do any of those have culverts? I mean, yeah,
They've all got
driveway
culverts.
culverts, they do,
Yep, every one of them.
oh, they do,
They're all plugged.
Oh, they're all no good. I mean,
Yeah.
But they've been under the ground for years.
But yeah, they're all 40 years
Time to
old.
freshen them up.
There was only two of them you could actually see,
Yeah.
that the first two houses, you could visually tell that
I
there was
see.
one there, but I never noticed the rest.
We're
of
gonna
them.
move a lot more water up there than we were moving a year ago.
Oh, yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, it was all flowing down the road.
Yeah.
yeah, we put cross culverts and then few down through there, and that's gonna be great. And the other side would be the same way, if we could get rid of them stumps and put one up through there, it'd be the same
Good.
thing.
Right,
All the water would head right for the drain, the houses shouldn't have no complaints, the water won't be running in. They're gonna complain about something anyway, I know.
Sure.
Everybody has a wish list.
Exactly.
So the road will be ready for paving before pavers are ready to do it, is that fair to say?
The ones I talked to, the earliest one was Wellman, they said mid-August.
Okay.
That was the earliest one. Pikes couldn't, he said he's no way he was gonna give me a date. Mid to late August.
Yeah,
Is there any way
and
we can get one sooner for Silver's Mill so we can run out of money?
I'm not
Cause I
sure.
don't think we have enough money to do both, right?
Probably don't have enough money to do both completely,
Correct.
particularly if we decide to reclaim, and in order to reclaim properly, we need to add some gravel in some areas, pretty soon, you're definitely gonna, the pot's gonna be empty.
Correct.
Right.
That does, which is okay, I don't mind emptying the pot, is, we're doing it right, and even if we have to go and have a
and ask for
special,
more, right,
Oh, I'm not afraid of
but we
asking for
gotta
more.
know what to ask for.
right,
Right.
right,
I
we
would-
gotta
I mean,
have a number,
From the
right,
beginning, it was kind of in hopes of being able to pave, get one chunk of paving done
Yeah.
before we ask for more money. That's why.
Yeah, I agree that, and there's nothing to be done over there, that's ready to go. Is that correct? Silver Mills?
Question of the cracking, I mean, if we're not gonna do anything, then
I mean, you'd take them up on the crack ceiling if you weren't gonna pave it, but if you're going to pave it over it, I don't know that you would,
I think even if they pave over it, they'll seal it with something.
yeah,
The
okay.
paving crew will. Yeah, they don't,
Oh,
they usually
before-
won't pave right over cracks.
okay.
Alright. So that's just a matter of finding somebody to do it.
correct.
Yeah.
I think that
A lot
leaves
of these
Vaughn
guys are saying that,
Thibodeau out because they were the latest. I finally got a hold of them and they're talking late September.
yeah, well, Pikes, he mentioned September a couple times, so
Has B&B communicated with you?
he said mid to late August.
Okay. I made a call into them, I have not heard from them yet, I just wanted to kind of pick his brain on reclaiming and, you know, just so I could articulate to people the benefits of it and
Right,
how we decide whether we should, he hasn't got back to me yet, so,
yeah.
and I don't know that I'll learn anything, but I just thought I'd ask him.
Who did you call?
I-
Just,
B&B,
oh, okay,
And you have a contact there named
Yeah,
Dave?
I can give you the number right to the,
He was gonna call me, but before you leave, I'll write it down.
yeah,
I just wanted to
yep,
have him educate me a little bit.
or I can just text it to you.
Okay, that'd be
I
perfect,
left
yeah.
my phone on the truck.
So, when I talk to him, I'll ask him about that, in terms of their availability, cause he may have thought you were asking about the whole project, you know, I don't know, so is Mills, they might be
Right.
willing to launch over there.
Well, no, he said he'd have to be in the area is what he said.
Oh, okay,
And we're doing some apartment as well, so they was planning on
trying to,
doing it at the same time.
So you're using B&B too?
Well, no, I was come down to, Wellman's or Roundy's. And we're still waiting to hear from Roundy's, but. Yeah, Wellman's and Roundy's were.
Now, that name I haven't heard before.
Brownies?
Roundy's.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, same here.
I think they were on,
I didn't originally know that they did stuff on that scale until one of us selectmen actually had him do his driveway. So
Correct.
Even talk.
That's what I mean, I've never heard of this.
That they're
I
doing
didn't, yeah.
municipal.
And as far as reclaim goes, they don't have a reclaimer, they hire it done, so.
Wow.
So, yeah. But Wellman's, I don't know, I think if you give Wellman's a date, give Wellman's the okay, when they had something anywhere near, they would come do it. I've never used it, so.
We have we not?
I think we have quite a while ago.
For some reason, I thought that Wellman's did the reclaiming in front of my house.
They may have, Mike, I just
Yeah.
can't remember.
He did mention that they did a bunch of work over there.
Yeah, I think, and this was at least 3 to 4 years ago, we reclaimed a portion of the French's Mills Road, which happens to be right in front of my house. I think Wellman's did that.
And that
Yeah,
was
I think-
successful.
Yeah,
Good.
it's held up, I mean, we've got the same public problems over there that we have, but interestingly enough, that road seems to stay together. Even though it's up and down, it's not
Yeah,
falling apart.
yeah,
Um,
erupting.
So,
That's
but I don't, that road was really bad too, I mean, it was
Oh, yeah.
like, the McFeeters.
Whoa.
Um,
Yeah.
But I do remember at the time, my neighbors down the road were selectmen, and when they did the reclaiming, it created quite a lot of debris. I mean, you know, softball-sized pieces of asphalt ended up on my lawn, which for me was not a big deal. I just kicked them all into the bucket of my tractor and dumped them, but I mentioned, you know,
Yeah,
if you're a little old lady trying to mow your lawn, you had a big mess.
yeah.
And it was said to me at the time, well, we didn't pay them to clean up. It was like that was negotiated in the deal. So we just would wanna be aware of, now, I
Didn't pay them to clean it
yeah,
up.
in other words, we got a better price because we let them leave that debris. And, which struck me as odd.
Yeah, I don't think I'd buy that either.
Well, anyway.
I think they left it just because.
But you know, they did, I think Warren ended up, somebody gave Warren a call and he ended up over there throwing asphalt into the bucket, and so they did clean up afterwards, so I don't remember why that all happened, but anyway. But the road has held up fine, so.
Yep.
But I remember when B&B, they reclaimed up past you, and they actually, I have no idea why, but they left a strip right up through the center that didn't get reclaimed. And there was pieces of hot top, probably 6 to 8 inches long, a couple of feet in length. They were breaking up some of them,
Yeah.
but you could see these great big pieces right up through the
No
middle that
kidding.
never got reclaimed,
Huh.
in the middle of that hill.
Almost like part of the reclaimer wasn't working that day.
Well, it's like they got,
They got
kinda
too far apart.
Too far apart.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't in the middle,
Yeah.
is what it looked like.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's when you've gotta be there when they're doing it.
Yeah, I had pictures of it on my old phone.
Yep.
Well, we got, I don't know, you were there, all this talk about a rubber tire roller, if you were gonna shim and surface, that according to, that was, he's retired now, Phil.
Phil.
No,
yeah.
He was an advocate of, if you're gonna do that, it's like a must, you must spec that. You need a rubber tire roller because
Right.
of the nature of, and half of these companies didn't have one.
no.
think there's many on that list right now that have one.
Really?
Well, it was funny, I was looking at the picture of the equipment at B&B, cause if you go to their website, they got this, probably they did it with a drone, cause it's, all of their equipment is, and I was, did you see a rubber tire roll there? I couldn't really see one, I don't know if they have one or not, but they have a lot of equipment.
Ah.
They sure do. All these guys do.
And you said B&B did the other side, the parking side of McFeeters? Yeah.
So we're really not in any better position to award anybody a contract tonight than we were last week. I mean,
No,
if
but
we're
I guess-
contingent on date.
So as far as from what you were saying with Parkman, with Roundy's, I mean, you checked them out to find out, I mean, now they're supposedly into this, doing the big stuff. They're all set up with the equipment now, and
Yeah,
do we know of any town that's ever used them?
as far as towns go, I'm not very familiar with them at
Okay.
all. I didn't know nothing about them until, like I said, it's like.
Well, they got a pretty good price point.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, them and Wellman's for us were.
But they were the only
almost
ones who
exactly
didn't get back to me and update their price point.
Oh, so that was a quote,
Yeah, that was a quote back in
Not a
February.
that was wrong. And, what was the other question?
Thibodeau can't get to us till late.
Till late, right.
And Roundy's doesn't reclaim. Is that correct?
They sub it, I guess.
So-
They
Oh, they
sub it.
sub it, so, oh, okay, that's right, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. Sub it. Sub reclaiming.
Yeah, we're still waiting in Parkman for them because they're gonna make us up a new price, I guess. Roundy's.
So we really don't have a good price on them right now.
No,
I can't imagine they're that far lower than everybody, but maybe.
But I mean, they're very close to Thibodeau, even here.
everybody came up. Except for Pikes went down a little. Well, Wellman went down too.
And you, Seth, you said you were thinking, you were between Roundy's and B&B in Parkman?
Wellman's and Roundy's.
Oh,
and
Wellman's and
they were-
Roundy's.
They were like $500
Uh-huh.
probably real good all that, but.
Oh, wow.
And nobody has talked to Roundy's about this job, right? I mean, this job,
I believe back in February.
February.
I'd be
Nobody-
really interested, I mean, that's a hell of a price point, not wanna
Right.
talk to them. I mean,
No, we just need,
So since you have
we need to know that that's a
number,
good
you
number
wanna
Right.
still.
get a hold
Yeah.
of them?
Yeah, we
And-
might as well get a hold of them, because if they end up getting Parkman, again,
They might like,
right.
Right.
The more
Right.
work they got in an area, the better they're gonna like
Sure,
it.
sure, I mean, that makes good sense.
might even sharpen the price.
I'll have to get them, I've not even dealt with them at all. Like I said, the selectman knows them, so he's been dealing with them.
I can get you the number that I have, but obviously it didn't do me any good because they didn't give that to me, but.
well, and honestly, I don't really wanna, I wouldn't even mind, I mean, if we can get somebody nailed down even by next week, I'd like to get a
Right.
commitment and get going on Silver's Mills.
Well, that's the thing, you gotta get on the roster and then.
Right.
if
Cause
somebody's
everybody else
around-
is just filling right now.
Yeah, yeah. So we don't even know the availability of Roundy's, whether they're even in.
No, we haven't even heard the availability either.
How long have you been after information department from?
Oh, not very long.
Okay.
He just asked them a couple weeks ago about it. I had asked Pike and B&B and Wallman, and he said, what the hell, and we went to the last couple more. And And like I said, I think he knows the guy pretty good, so.
Have you ever done anything with Stan over there? Kitchen? No. Boring.
He did, yeah.
Now, is Stan Kitchen, does he do paving?
Well, yeah, I think he worked with Lawson quite a bit. I know he did, I think he did the trench paving on all those culverts.
Oh.
I've heard him here in the past, I've heard that name,
I've heard the name,
Well
but I
before.
can't, yeah.
but I remember that name.
I think I've seen his trucks over in Dover Foxcroft.
Oh. And kitchen
Yeah,
on the side of the trucks?
I believe so.
See, that's the same thing, I didn't know he did bigger projects either. I thought he was more of a little guy.
He could be, it could be just a trench paving.
Around these
I
was
don't
too,
know.
but I guess not.
So, okay, so what are we gonna, we're just gonna try and get some, nail down some dates as far as, and see then, and final prices?
Yeah, I mean, we're really ready to go on Silver's Mills, we don't have price, we don't have a price or availability, so we can't commit.
For me, I really like this price and on Summit here, and I'm ready to make a decision there, but not knowing what Roundy's is available for that difference in price per ton, I mean, that's a lot.
Do we know what we're going to do on the Silver Mills Road in terms of the spec? Are we gonna, in other words, are we gonna stick with that,
1.5 of the
There we
12.5
go, yeah.
millimeter?
That's what we've been doing over there.
Yeah, so I
That's
guess,
all they're doing there?
is there a way
No
to,
shimming or anything?
It's already shimmed.
Shimmed. Okay, so this is the surface?
Yeah, alright, yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah. Yeah, and the 12.5 you said was a lot stronger. Like if you was, for some reason, not gonna overlay it with a top coat, then they all recommended go with that 12.5, it's a lot sturdier, top up, I guess.
So we've got that nailed down for Silver's Mills, what we're doing there as far as 1.5 inches of 12.5 millimeter surface. Because it looks like yeah. Yep. Okay, so that's what we gotta do, right?
yeah, I guess at this point, we need a price from
Yeah,
Roundy's,
Roundy,
and then we need
availability.
availability from, because if Roundy is the cheapest, but he can't
Right.
do
Can't
it
do
until
it until
September,
Right.
then we might spend more money on someone else. That's, I guess that's,
Right.
you know,
And I think Von Thibodeau is pretty late running right now, so unless we get in line and
and we
probably
really wanna get
In the
that
queue.
money
Right.
Yes.
spend.
invested
Yes.
on that road.
The only other thing too that I wanna question is make sure these guys have the right length, because
Oh,
these guys are all saying 1.5 inch by 12.5, but they're all, so this should be a standard mathematical, so wide, so thick, so long, and they're all coming out with a different tonnage.
well, they shouldn't be, because they all use the same number.
as far as length, distance,
I gave them
and
all the
width,
same number.
width and distance.
I had Pike's thing right on my phone, and they went by, some of them went
Exactly.
by what they measured it by, but I said, this is what Pike is bidding on. So they all bid on the same exact number.
Oh, they did?
495, 485, 535, 480. It's kinda interesting, that's all.
That the tonnage is different.
Yeah. Goes from 480 to
Wellman's.
535, 538.
Right. So it's just, oh geez. Yeah, I see that.
Yes, I mean, like
That's a
10,
lot.
well,
Yeah.
is 10 ton much? I mean, I don't know how many yards is in it. Is a yard a ton? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, how much does concrete weigh? I mean, what is the
What's asphalt weigh, do you think?
It's,
asphalt, yeah.
2,000 pounds, yeah.
You think,
A
okay,
yard?
all right, so they're talking about 10 yards. Yeah, okay,
Distance, here
it's-
and there, give or take.
Yeah. But when you start talking 100,
Right.
Yeah, but they're 58 tons difference.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of asphalt.
Yeah,
That's several loads.
yes, that's what I'm, that's why I said.
It's almost like they're going to a different bridge.
Yeah,
Or not getting to a bridge again. That's why making sure.
so, because B&B is so much, is a bigger number, is that what you're looking at?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, you got this one down here, he's figured it, cause this is the
480,
lowest,
right,
and these guys figured it out at 538.
right, and then this is 45, right, and this is
495.
495, so those are,
I mean, if I could, I mean, five, I guess I don't know.
495 and 585, I can,
right,
Yeah, but at
but
the end
the
of the day,
538,
at the end of the day, you're saying it's this wide, it's
right,
this thick and that
right.
long.
I mean,
So
that's, it's just a
pretty straight
formula.
math.
You just plug it in and it should be the same tonnage,
Should be very close.
yeah.
but B&B's at $76 on that product, a ton. I mean, I can't imagine, I guess the availability scenario is worst case. You're gonna pick them over 70, but that doesn't, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, everything's off, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Correct.
Well, he just sent me another quote. It was essentially the same.
I guess they're mostly all the same, except for
Yeah, but I mean,
Vaughn.
Yeah, it was the same.
Way higher on tons on McFeeters. Everybody else is 14, 15 roughly, and he's 18.
yeah,
Jeez.
Huh. Well, I didn't. Did you give him the same numbers, Vaughn? Or did he come measure it at some point?
He didn't come measure it, I gave him, let's see, Bone Thibodeau. That was
he's got his figured
reclaiming.
at 2.5,
Yeah.
so he's figuring
Yeah,
it's
he's
a
figuring,
shim.
yeah, he's figuring more.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
yeah,
he's,
yeah.
yeah,
about 2.5.
2.5. As opposed to 1.5, right? So he's an extra inch.
Yeah.
well, no, because he's got that under the reclaim, so you're getting less, cause everybody else on a reclaim is doing 2-inch base binder and 1.5 inches of
Yeah, that's true.
overlay, right?
Yep.
So you're actually getting 1 inch less
Huh.
out of that.
Yep.
But I don't think you could wait for Von Thibodeau anyway, because he was talking about
Right.
not starting the reclaim till the end of September, meaning you'd be paving in October.
No,
You
no,
can just
no.
strike them.
Right, yep, yep. Yep. I just can't even go there.
But I don't think we can resolve very much.
No,
I mean, even if
Right.
the dates and everything is perfect from, I guess, Roundy, we can't presuppose that and
No.
make a motion, so
No,
we're
No.
gonna need more information and then we're gonna have to meet again and pull the trigger.
right,
But, I mean, we can do that.
Yep.
We'll do it
Yep.
on short notice, but.
Okay.
But next week I have limited availability, so I might be conference calling. But enough to move the ball forward.
yep,
But we can do this Friday, we can do
Yep.
it Saturday, we only need a minute, we just need the information.
right. You gotta nail these guys down. You've got it.
And I guess we could split the job between Silver's Mills and McFeeters, I guess we'd be open to that, why wouldn't we be?
Sure.
I
The
really
first
wanna
one-
get that Silver's Mills going, right? That's kinda where
The
we're
only
at.
reason, the only way I wouldn't split it is if these
Save you a
numbers.
ton of money.
Correct, then
Right.
you know,
Right.
but,
Right,
and
right.
that's gonna be a pretty good chunk of money, if that number stuck.
It is.
Alright,
Okay.
So Seth, do we think we can get a number out of Roundy's? If
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't, like by Friday?
Yeah. Don't see why not. Unless they don't want it.
Exactly, I mean,
Right.
it's like.
Yeah, there's just a few moving parts we need to know the answer, and we can meet here at 7:30 in the morning, I don't care.
If they don't want it, that makes the choices easier.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I think you'll find they'll want it.
Well,
and then we need to nail somebody down for when they'll do Silver Mills Road.
right,
The only thing, and I think it'd be better, just as beneficial for you on the other side of this as us, is where they're actually this new into the game, to see if you can get a name of another town or something, we could call it.
Right.
a reference.
Yeah, a reference would would probably be good
And I
for,
think that would
the record.
even help up this, for Parkman to make a decision.
Yeah.
If they don't have a town,
Yeah,
they
this,
really wanna be the first one,
No.
if they're never
Exactly,
get into
yeah.
the game, well.
yeah, if there's a road commissioner you could talk to, that would be ideal.
Yep. I know a few.
Okay,
good.
anything
I
else?
work for them, but I know a few.
Anything else for Seth?
I don't think so.
It's raining for
I had something else,
Friday.
but I don't remember what it was.
I,
The complaining on the West Road is asinine.
oh,
Okay.
It's completely
I haven't heard about it.
asinine.
no, we just got another person saying that after 3 rainstorms, there are potholes coming back.
There's 4 potholes on that whole road. I just rode in there 45 with my pickup the other day, and there's nothing wrong with that road.
They live on a dirt road.
That's right, that's
In
right.
Maine.
and-
That's right.
I don't go and check them out myself, I make Seth go out and check them.
Ultimately, that's, makes
Because
total sense.
he's gonna have to
You're
fix
just gonna
them,
go
so-
out and say,
so
Yeah,
like-
you just,
Seth,
yeah.
you gotta come look at this.
Yeah.
Somebody's complaining.
Yeah.
The French's Mills culvert that you redid, the lady says when it rains, the water doesn't,
Oh, right across from Nicolay,
probably.
Yeah, it
yes.
is.
the driveway culvert.
Yeah, my wife mentioned too, that there was some erosion there.
She said there's some erosion.
And I know you didn't stone either end of that culvert, and do you not normally do that?
No, I
Or
don't.
some towns do, and I notice when I go up through
If there's
Exeter,
a
they
wall of
do.
Water, yeah.
Yeah, that's very seasonal. He will get a ton of water there, the right time of year.
Yeah.
Everything comes off Bean Hill and just rips down through there.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't shock me if that is gonna need some rock.
okay,
But,
yep.
So if you can go look, she's very happy that you replaced it, but she says there's some erosion.
Okay. The grass didn't grow fast enough.
well, it
We had
may,
some pretty good rains this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's, that spot it's a deceiving spot.
Yeah,
There's a lot of, where that field ends, and there's a road that we use, that road that you can kinda see the legacy of that road, that accesses the town land, we harvest up there. When they built that road, they basically created a berm, and all that water just runs right,
down the road.
right to the French's Mills.
Yeah.
And so that tiny little culvert gets a lot of
A
volume,
lot of water,
yeah, yeah,
Maybe we should have put a bigger culvert in there.
maybe, it's totally,
Yeah, well, yeah,
but if you go look at it now, it's not looking anything like what is demanded of that culvert.
right,
Oh,
right,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I thought there was something else, but I guess I'm not.
Well, I'd be curious, if you even wanna tell the tale, but I guess when you were working up the West Road, there was another issue with some grade stakes.
oh,
And-
that one.
Yeah, the grade stakes need to be removed.
So what ended up
Shouldn't be
happening?
allowed to leave them there anyway. He's got a grade stake this far, right around that corner when you pull into the West Road, all the way around, all the way up his lawn.
So,
Honestly, it's a hazard. They shouldn't be there.
so the point of the grade stake is to say, this is where we believe our property is.
Yeah, this is our property, he's saying, but you look in behind the stakes, there's this much road in behind them, he keeps moving them out every year, a little more, a little more.
Okay,
And I bet you'll find that he doesn't even own any of that right there, cause that road used to go right straight to the McNaughton Hill Road.
yeah, well, that's a debate, they're gonna say, but the point is, right now, there are stakes in the roadway.
Yes, there are. And the grader caught 2 of them, and he flipped right out about it.
So they need to be removed.
They need to be
Yep.
gone, absolutely. They're a hazard, they shouldn't be there.
Wow.
Like, you meet 2 vehicles there, somebody's gonna have to get over in the ditch, because it, yeah.
Well, alright, so in your opinion, they're a hazard.
Yeah.
We probably should look at them when we
You
have a
should.
chance.
You absolutely should.
So how does that work? I mean, landowner put them there, do we ask him to remove them, or we just go out and move them?
Well, I think you have to,
I would wanna know what was what before I went and did it, but I don't think he owns any of that. I mean, even if,
well, I
Is it in
know
the
what the discussion's
town
gonna
right
be because we were in the office. Their perspective is the road has moved onto their property. That's over the years. May be true, may not be true, but it's something that's happened
right,
over decades,
right,
if it happened at all.
right,
But the only way you're gonna say to the town, you need to move your road, which is essentially what they're saying, because they're putting stakes in our
Right.
road, is a survey.
yeah.
And it seems to me it's incumbent upon the landowner, the road's there, we know that. They don't like it there, but it's there.
Right.
If they're gonna require the town to move the road,
Oh, they gotta prove it's
they
their
gotta prove that
land.
it's in the wrong spot, I would think.
Yeah, I don't have an issue where the road is, so.
Everything
Well, even
always
if
used
it's
to
in
be
the wrong
straight lines.
spot, I mean, the road,
Oh, it's no different than
Has
down
just-
here, that's why they, when they redid this down here and they redid the bridge that time, that's why they moved the bridge and they moved the road. Because they found out even down here that that's
On Dowdy Hill, or where?
No.
Oh, that bridge?
That bridge.
That bridge?
Yeah, that's why that used to go the other, used to come right across and kinda right straight up the hill.
Right.
Now they've turned the bridge a little bit and you're coming
Ah,
over
yeah,
now
yeah.
more than you used to be
Yeah.
because that's, I'm not saying that it moved over, but it,
They-
over
After
time,
the
it's
survey,
not where it
they
was supposed to
figured out
be.
where-
Right.
Yeah.
So that's,
But I guess
It
what I'm
can
saying,
happen,
if you
but-
have a dispute within a butter, there's ways to handle that, and if you have a dispute with a town regarding their town way, I don't think the way that you handle that is to put obstructions within the
Yeah,
town
no.
way.
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think there's
But
ever
is
a
there-
cause that would allow for that.
but is there any place that says, whether in one of their deeds, we don't have anything that says that our road is 50 feet off this property line, or, we don't have that documentation.
not that I know of.
Right.
And I don't believe anybody's deed up through there says that the road is X, you know what I mean?
I would say,
Because
it
that's
would be
an
good
easement
if
up
Bridie
there,
was
sure.
Say footage on it though, road footage, right?
It's gonna say it's either probably, if there is a document, it's gonna say it's either 3 rods or 4 rods in all likelihood. It's going to give you name of abutting landowners at the time.
But it's not gonna pinpoint you to where you are on the property.
No,
The only thing that may
No.
happen is if you got two property owners
you can start doing footages of,
from the back pins in,
yeah,
if it's specified.
if it's specified. Sometimes you wind up with specifications like to the elm tree,
Right,
to the,
to the
but
post.
they own the land, there's no question
Yeah.
about that. So is one side of the road owned by one person and the other side by
Yes.
another, or?
Yes.
Okay, so normally, typically, they own to the center line.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that the position of the road is on the deed itself. I mean, they own the land,
yeah,
the town has an easement.
yeah.
I just don't think it.
I don't think you get to block the road.
I just don't think they own the land, because they never made corners, and land is always square. It's always square.
Well, I say they own, with the few exceptions, ancient roads.
Right,
The abutter owns the land, the road is an easement over somebody else's property. The town doesn't own the land
No.
underneath, or the mineral rights or any of that.
Right.
But, so this road isn't any different than the other road. Yeah, you may own the land that this road is on, but we have an easement over your property.
Right.
Right.
And
But we have this easement over many landowners now.
almost
Sure,
all of our
everyone,
roads,
right.
probably nearly every
No,
one
but I
of
mean,
our.
on this particular road, there's many landowners,
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
and we only have one concern.
Right, the road's only moved.
in one location, and in one direction.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I guess the person on the other side might be saying,
Got
I
some
picked
real
up some.
estate.
I
They picked up some real
land.
estate.
But actually, those two lines, their boundary lines are in a deed.
Yes, and so, right, and it
That's-
seems,
But it doesn't mean the road is
Yeah.
referenced in that deed.
no.
The only way to prove it is they would have to survey their property to find that pin that's supposed to be in the center of the road.
and supposedly, the corner pin was moved by an irate neighbor 30 years ago.
But you know what, I can say that about my property pin, and you can say that,
Oh,
there's stories of this everywhere.
But you still don't
I'm
get to
just
block the
saying-
You
roadway.
don't get to block
I'm
the
just saying the
road.
pin probably doesn't exist. You'd have to start working from,
Well, you just need two points.
Two adjacent points.
But you're gonna have to pay for a survey.
That's right.
But regardless, for this conversation, we have a road commission tells us that stakes are, it's a health hazard, it's a safety hazard for.
It is.
Is that road open to ATV traffic?
Yep.
So, you know, a kid on a dirt bike
Cool.
could hit one of those stakes, cause you wouldn't expect a stake to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be responsible. Because we know they're there.
Yeah.
So, I think we should ask Bridie to get in touch with MMA, as to what's the proper course? Do we write a letter, or do we have Seth just pull them out and send them a bill? What do we do?
Are they wooden or metal?
They're just wooden grade stakes.
They're just
Wooden
grade
grade
stakes.
stakes.
Probably, right from the
Yeah,
Armstrongs.
Maybe.
Made out of ash?
I could be, but I don't remember selling Lance any grade stakes, but yeah, I never know.
Could've come right from the local true guy.
Yeah. Well, I might have sold them to True.
Might have come there anyway.
You don't put serial numbers on them, I know
No,
that.
no. Okay, I'll call MMA.
That's just puzzling, that whole.
It is. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Do you think that was the other thing that you wanted to talk about, Seth, or you?
No, that's not it. It was something just silly, but I don't know what it was. I'll think of it when I get home.
And you're gonna text me Dave's number?
Yes, I will.
Okay, cool.
I'll do that right when I get in my truck.
Alright,
Good, good.
you're welcome to hang, but
Thank
you
you,
don't
Seth. I'm
Alright,
sure
feel
you're
that
gonna
you
go
have
home.
to.
Yeah, I'm ready
Yeah,
to go home.
go home.
Enough of that.
Yeah,
Thanks, Seth.
Thank
At
you.
4:25, I was in Skowhegan to just get a little excavator loaded, so yeah, I've been
Easy
here.
peasy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
Seth, we're aiming for Friday
Aiming for Friday?
for a meeting.
Just, we need that info,
Just
yeah.
trying to
Short, sweet,
nail
quick.
Yeah.
stuff
Alright,
down.
sounds good.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. On to 7 old business paving. I think we pretty much covered
I
that.
think we
Yeah,
pretty
we
much
did that one.
put these two together.
Down to 8.
New business, Center Pond Road.
Okay, we had somebody come in and it was recommended that I call Bob Brown. Does anybody have a working number for Bob
I
Brown?
can get you one, I don't have
Okay.
it on me.
I
Actually, I don't even know if he has a house line in it.
I called what was supposedly a house line, got a recording that said, canned recording saying leave a message. So I said, you know, if this is Bob Brown's residence,
It probably is, because
Okay.
I typically, if we call Bob, it's leave a message.
okay. So I have left a message and hopefully he'll get back to me. I found a folder on Center Pond and I have been reading it, but it's gonna take some studying. But we all know that you can't fix a private
No.
road with
Yeah,
municipal
we're not doing
funds
that, I
and.
mean,
Nope.
it's whether or not, what we're gonna do.
If there's a big picture solution that involves,
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's come up many, many times, that Center Pond boat landing has not had any, at the boat landing itself, we've done some work as far as at the water side. But that road is, I wouldn't wanna guess when the last yard of gravel went on it, and, or roadside mowing, or anything else.
Some of those deeds say that we're required,
I,
required from midsummer to October to,
sure, it's supposed to be maintained for summer maintenance.
yeah.
And honestly, that's, you know, that's why not many people are using that road, because it's not maintained. You know, if, probably honestly, if somebody went down through there and you mowed the side of the road, and you cut the brush back on both sides of the road and the low hanging branches, so it resembled a road again,
They'd be using it.
was the
Start
last time we
using it.
graded it?
I don't believe it's ever been graded.
There you go. So,
Can you get a grader down here?
our neglect
in there?
in some ways is creating more traffic on
Right.
the private way.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what's my
Yeah.
opinion. But the other thing, and so, obviously where I lived there, I've been involved in this whole conversation a few times, well before I was involved in town, but, because I actually came to a meeting to volunteer to cut the brush off that road, and same thing down at the boat landing, to help cut that and clean it up, volunteer the whole thing. And actually had camp owners come to the meetings and to talk to the selectmen and complain to the town manager because they didn't want it done. Because they don't want that, back then, I'm not saying it would happen today, but, you know, they like that small pond and it's not the easiest to get in and out of, and it's
Oh, I
almost a
see.
deterrent.
Oh, sort of a little hidden treasure. They
Correct.
don't want.
Except now
So-
they've fixed up their road. And those who use it, use their road.
Correct. But, you know, I was outside Sunday and might have happened to see 2 or 3 vehicles did get on my road, so. It's not heavily used, but it does get occasionally used, so. But something needs to be done one way or the other. If we can't move over to Bob's, we ought to at least do a minimal something.
Right. And,
I've offered, there's a big washout right at the end of the road and my tractor sits across the street and I've said many times, let me know when you're gonna do it and you can either use my tractor or just dump the gravel there and we'd level it out, so.
Right.
And that's not happening, so.
Well, we could fix our side anytime we wanted to spend
Well,
the
that's
money
just
on
it, but
it.
where do
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
which part do you wanna start with? 'Cause,
Okay, so I'm waiting to hear from Bob.
yeah.
okay.
Bob's scenario, if we could work something out, it would be the best, I think it would be the best interest for the town as well, because the standing of that road is in a lot better condition than what we are currently.
Yeah, it gives us a much better starting point,
Correct,
and then we could maintain it for the benefit of everybody.
correct.
But I do think it would take, we'd have to take it to the legislative body to do that. I suspect.
I think probably.
I suspect they'd go for it once we explain we're giving up as much road as we're getting.
Right.
And we're
just-
getting a better road than we have.
Right, so
But
we're starting.
you'd have to explain it well, but I do think that's probably the way it's gotta be done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we already have a policy on accepting, it's still considered, even though what we're doing, it's still be considering accepting a new road
Correct.
for summer maintenance.
Correct.
Even though, like you said.
We would
we're
explain it,
getting-
we're shifting the responsibility, and I think once you did that, it probably would go through.
Alright, but you're technically adding,
Yep,
you're adding to subtract, but
yep.
it's still up front.
But it's a
an
net add no matter what, because we're not doing anything
No,
now,
and we can't even,
Yeah, you're right.
right?
well, with few exceptions, I mean, we can subtract, in terms of abandonment. We can subtract but based on how we did the last one,
Yeah,
I think we're inclined to go to the town to subtract as well.
yeah,
Yeah, I would think it'd be a
Oh,
really good
yeah.
conversation to do the whole thing at once, and then,
Hmm.
I'm not sure the status of what we currently have is that just an easement?
Hmm.
Is it actually deeded right away for us to come up through there? I mean, I know
I have
this
to
is
read
the
it more
other,
carefully. It appears deeded.
because that's the other thing
Oh.
that's come up in the past when it comes to maintaining that road. They're one landowner, because that's how I had heard it, it's measured off from the stone wall.
Mm-hmm.
And where we haven't maintained our side, the growth off the stone wall, so now the road potentially is on the edge of what our right of way is. So you don't have any room to,
I can look further. The deed in here reference is 1909, and it says the road was already in existence, so I have to look some more.
oh,
our road was or the other road?
Our road.
Really?
I believe. I'll read it.
Ours was probably the first one,
I've got
which wouldn't
the,
surprise me.
I don't believe it was though, because
You don't
their
think so?
road,
Okay.
no, because theirs is Center Pond Road, number one.
yeah,
And their road goes, it's perfectly straight right into the pond and around the corner. Whereas our road is fully on that, but that road used to connect to Anderson Road
that's what it
at
says.
the bottom.
Yep.
If we could put it together, we've got some other roads too that we need to address in that same fashion, so if we could kind of put together a little bundle of road
Put them up to
statuses.
bed, yeah.
Well, if that's deeded, we gotta figure out what we're gonna, are we just gonna abandon it, leave it there for the town forever? I mean, there's more conversations to what we would do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there are.
I'd like to, I mean, if we could move over to the other road and make that go through, I'd just as soon abolish or get rid of that road and never have the conversation again, but I don't know how easy that is to happen either.
So do we know when the last time we worked on our road is?
The road itself?
Or
I've never
put any money?
Never seen it happen.
We worked on the launch, but the road itself,
Wow.
just within a few feet of the launch.
And like it's, I mean, I think there's an obligation that we've been supposed to be doing this, so.
It appears that way.
But see, nobody really, nobody that has a camp there uses it. They use the other road when they're launching their boat for, once a year or how often they do
And
it.
as long as I've been there, that's the first time I've ever had,
You've seen people?
no, I've ever heard of a camp
Oh.
owner wanting this to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I've never
yeah,
heard of
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
wanting to make
it
this
to-
better,
I see.
well, which is interesting.
The only reason you would use our road is if you're just following the sign, you've never been down in there.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, well, that one's way better. I didn't know it went to the same place.
But what's really funny is, and this happens a lot,
Uh-huh.
it's very comical because you'll see somebody
Go down
drive
one.
that, well, they go down the camp road and they go all the way to the end and they come all the way back out and they'll get down the road, they'll come back.
Oh,
they'll drive down
no.
that road again, all the way, how the hell do you get to the water?
Are you kidding?
They can't, yeah, they can't figure that. But, cause when you're going down that camp road, it's obvious for me because I know it's there, but when you get to Marvin's driveway, if you're going quickly, it kinda looks like you're just going to Marvin's driveway.
Oh.
Cause right at Marvin's driveway, that's when you kinda dip down the knoll, you know what I mean? So it's
And the boat landing's down there.
down in there.
Do we
so-
have a sign?
Oh yeah, the sign is right between the two roads.
Oh, God.
So even the sign's not.
Yeah, it's ambiguous.
Oh, my gosh.
And their sign says Center Pond.
It does, and their
Theirs is Center
road,
Pond
their
Road.
private road is called Center Pond Road.
Yep.
What's our road called?
The
Edgerly.
Edgerly Boat Landing Road.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
But I mean, if there's, it's a camp road, so there's camp road signs,
Sure,
there's two different
sure.
road signs, and there's a boat, I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
going on right there for signage, but.
And is that the road right next to Jerry's? On the backside of Jerry's?
No, it's right across from me.
Oh, it's right across from you.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I've never been down there.
I think
Anything
we're
further
down
on Center Pond?
No, I'm still researching, just starting.
Okay. Correspondence, roadside mowing.
I got an email today from Kimberly saying that they're running behind in the mowing of towns due to the weather we had at the start of the season. Right now, we are 2.5 weeks behind.
Okay.
Guys are working 6-7 days a week to try to get caught up, but the weather has not been in our favor. I'm sure they didn't love this weather. All the rain has made the shoulders soft. They've already been stuck in several towns.
I bet.
We'll try to keep you posted as we get closer. We're sorry for the delay. Oh shoot, I'll text Seth when I find my phone. There was a mention of some wire in the ditch on the Goff Road. And they want that picked up, obviously, before they do roadside mowing, so I'll have him go look. He says it's near box 239, and near the Dexter Sangerville line, and it's a straight half mile to the sharp turn, so.
So are they thinking we're like 2.5, 3 more, because I mean, they should have been mowing soon, right?
Right.
I can't remember the date, but I was thinking.
It was
Mid-month.
mid-July to early
Oh, so-
August, so I'll keep
Okay.
in
Because
touch
I have had one person ask me about roadside.
when it's gonna happen.
Yep.
And I had, Lucas Striping was supposed to do the striping this week, so I'll have to call them tomorrow as well and see if that's actually gonna happen, or if it's gonna be longer. So that's all I have for correspondence.
Okay. Item 10, abatements and supplements.
Another abatement. The lady who was here last week, Kelly Doyle, went to see Josh and he reassessed her house and believes we should do an abatement. The inside has been gutted and he says is unlivable and recommends this course of action, which is an abatement of $664.06 in 2019 property taxes on map 23 lot 13 as requested by Josh Moran, assessor's agent, because the house has been gutted and is now unlivable, which was not reported until after tax bills went out. He didn't know what you thought of this and thought you might want to discuss it.
Yeah,
People have been living in this all winter.
He thinks she's living in her car, but I can't swear to that.
Okay, but we have residents, I mean, that's their address, they're living there.
I believe so, yes.
So I think this is a different, what do you do in this situation when you have a house that's being suggested as unlivable and you know people live there?
Yeah.
well, that's maybe, that's a valid point, but I'm more, I guess what I'm kinda getting tripped up on is, if I have a home that is, well, let's just say for sake of this discussion, it's indeed abandoned or it's unlivable, wouldn't it be incumbent upon me as the property owner to report that during the tax year that I want the abatement? You don't report it after the taxes. In other words, you had to report it last year to avoid the taxes this year.
Right.
I mean,
But
I think
that-
she's got a great case for next year.
But the house is a major improvement of last year.
It sure is.
I mean, we don't know when it was gutted.
Yeah, he doesn't either.
So, and it wasn't reported until after the tax year, so that's, I guess that's what is tripping me up. I'm not gonna try to second guess who's living in it or not living in it,
But I'm
but,
just looking at it as, I mean, I understand but he's basing his evaluation because it's not livable.
right,
That's
but we
why
don't
I'm
know what it was last year. Cause nobody reported it as having been gutted until this year, after the assessment was all done, so I think they're in great shape for, it's no different than if you tear down a building.
Sure.
If I tear down a building and I say, well, I just tore it down, we don't abate you from last year. We abate you this year, you don't get taxed on it. Now, the ones we did last week, they had been reported and I.
Missed and,
He missed it.
He missed
It was the assessor's
It was
agent's
a
mistake.
clerical error.
Right.
right,
But this isn't a mistake.
No.
No.
she-
This building has been gutted and that report of that action just came to him.
correct.
So. I just wanna make sure I'm understanding it.
Right.
Well, I've spoke to him, he volunteered to come to a meeting and speak to you if you had more questions.
But I mean, he's reassessed this, so he got a recent complaint, he went obviously, he's reassessed this within the last week.
Yes,
So what's gonna happen is if we do nothing, next year's tax bill is gonna be reduced by
Right.
approximately this amount.
Right.
Cause he's now updated the situation. Probably, I'm guessing what happened is the landowner got a tax bill and said, my goodness, that's a lot for this house in its current state.
But they had the same tax bill when they bought it.
And they didn't update.
Right, and the people prior had the same tax bill and they were.
No, but I mean, they're
Yeah,
new, they just,
yeah.
she hasn't owned this that long. So when she actually knew what the taxes were.
Right.
And had to
She
pay them
could
when
have-
she bought it.
Right. Do we know when she closed on that? I mean, she's had it all,
She lived there all winter,
she did?
I believe so.
I think she lived there all winter, yeah.
So it was last fallish.
I could go pull it up, I don't know if I have Trio still up on my computer or not, but I could go look if you'd like me to.
I would be interested in Josh's opinion of this sequencing.
Yeah,
Because it
I
seems to
agree.
me that once the select board says, oh, well, sure, no problem, why couldn't somebody rip out a kitchen tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm doing
And
a
call
renovation
Josh and say, hey, we don't even have a kitchen.
I did this last spring.
Right,
Yeah, I just forgot
right.
to call you.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, before you know, you've got all these, I'm not saying that would necessarily happen, but
You're opening it up.
you are opening it, potentially, it seems to me. Now, it's totally different when somebody reported to him
Right.
and he forgot or made, that's,
Right,
I
didn't-
get
it
that.
didn't get updated.
And he
And then-
basically said, he
I
took
made a
ownership.
mistake.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Right,
Yep, it is different.
Now, if he wants to add some more color to this, if he thinks maybe part of this was his responsibility, then I would be more open to it, I think.
Do you want to table it for now?
I think so, I think
So
we,
we
Yeah,
table
let's
it.
say, but I would love to have him come in, wouldn't you? Or
Yeah.
because how does he address this? I mean, this I'm sure happens all the time. It's the landowner's responsibility to come and say, I'm not living there, it's not inhabitable.
He did also say that another option is to have the property condemned,
But
but that
I mean,
that's really a different subject.
it is,
Correct.
Yes.
it is.
I know, but that's what I was getting at with this from your assessment. If this has been depreciated for this, not applicable for this conversation. But as far as for the town, once you have this status being presented, that puts the town manager into a situation of
Where I have to,
make a decision.
mhm.
A different, totally different conversation.
correct.
Correct.
So, I had a really short conversation with Josh. Do you want me to, I don't know if we're gonna have a meeting on the 31st.
We will if you want one.
Yeah,
Sure.
we'll have a meeting
Okay.
whenever you want.
Sure.
Whatever
Okay.
works for you.
Well, it's gonna be what works for
Correct.
Josh, cause,
And he may not need to come, he may have a very concise and there may be no ambiguity as to how this should be done.
Right,
When
yeah.
you explain to Josh what Mike's thought process is, that we're all kind of in agreement
Yeah,
on.
just a little
Then-
confused how exactly how this unfolds, how
Yep.
it's supposed to happen.
No.
Cause I don't mind doing an abatement, you know, Josh is no different than anybody else, I mean, it's a lot of properties, and I can see where some of this stuff clerically we may have to do an abatement once in a while, but that's not what this situation is.
No, in fact, I honestly appreciate it when he says, hey, this was my baby,
Oh, yeah.
and, because
He doesn't have to do that.
he doesn't have to do
No,
that, and
no.
it creates a lot of drama if he didn't step up to the plate,
Right.
and I appreciate that he
Right.
does it, so,
Right.
whatever. If he had worded this that way, I don't even think we'd be having this conversation, so.
Right.
no,
but
it's
he-
definitely a different
This is different.
situation.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about how Josh is doing this, he's not doing that. When it's his fault, he explains it's his fault.
Yep.
If it's
Yeah.
another situation, he's explaining that. So, that's why I do trust his opinion, and I don't wanna second guess what he's doing, but.
So, yeah, if he wants to have some input, we'd welcome it.
Okay.
If he wants to just rely on what you've written here, that's fine with me too.
All right, so we need a motion to table.
I'll make a motion to table, item 10, abatements and supplements.
Sorry.
All in favor? We are tabling this item. Request for additional agenda items? None? Looks like we have a request for an executive session. Under 1 MRSA 4056C, consideration to buy state property. The motion to go into executive session, a second?
Yep.
Okay, what?
I made the motion, Dale seconded,
Okay,
and we will vote, and we are unanimous. We're now in executive session at 6:08.